So I do a lot of work with kids in schools. Two observations. Most junior schools, vast majority of teachers are women, very few men. Most high schools, shift changes, and there are an awful lot of men and slightly fewer women. And in my country, England, I'm in London at the moment, there's been a big debate about standardized testing as to whether standardized tests is a good thing. And all the guys are saying, yeah, 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 yeah. And a hell of a lot of the women are saying, no, we should be looking at many, many, many more things than just standardized tests. So two questions here for you, John. One, do you think it's a good idea to have mixed schools, or to have boys going to one school and girls going to the other school? And the second thing is, do you think it's a good idea that junior schools tend to be female dominated and high schools tend to have a higher proportion of men than women?
Okay, I have no experience of being in an all-boys school, and so I can't comment. Everything I share, by the way, is from my experience and then validated by studies and whatever. So I don't go there. My partner, a book writing partner, Warren Farrell, and I wrote a book called Boy Crisis, and talking about that boy crisis right now. And it's really interesting as an educator. It really, I think you might really enjoy it very much. And in that book, we reveal the actual research which is shown on improved boy performance when there's separate schools. Okay, there's some research on it. Okay, and so that's one idea. I'm not for it because I have never experienced the benefit of it. Not against it either because I haven't. So I don't have a judgment there. But I have a lot of judgments about the things you just talked about or my experience. First of all, in my life, I'm going to sound like a bragger for a moment. I'm the #1 biggest selling relationship author in the world. I speak to thousands of people. I had standing ovations of 10,000 people. I did a Broadway show. I did the biggest theaters on Broadway. I've done it all, okay? I've been in all the magazines, 18 Oprah shows, the whole shebang, had my own TV show for a while. Shebang, 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 all that stuff. Now, when I start bragging about myself, I lose my point a bit. So let me come back to having made that point. Darn, should never do that again.
Junior schools, girls, senior
Okay,
schools.
okay, that, thank you very much. All right, so I would consider to be like a high achiever, right? I feel self-esteem. Look what I've done. I have a right to feel like I have done a great life, okay? But I'm a terrible singer. I have terrible handwriting. All my books, the grammar, I can't spell worth a darn. I have people spell check. What else am I not good at that I would be graded at in school? See, the point is, when I was a little boy going through all that grade school stuff up to 13, we'll do 13 up to 13 first, because there's a major brain change that happens at puberty. So prior to puberty, I don't think there should be any testing at all. A child doesn't have the brain power to form a sense of self separate from the results he produces. So if I do bad at a grade, I'm bad. You know, these grade school teachers, they always say, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm only mad at what you did. You're not wrong. What you did is wrong. Well, you can say that all that you want, but the child doesn't have a brain to differentiate between what I did and who I am. Even now, most people take everything personally. If somebody shoots me the finger, I go, how dare you do that? As opposed to that's their problem. That's not about me. People still identify with anything that happens to, oh, you're saying that's about me. That's your point of view, not my point of view. So how can you expect a child who doesn't even have the development of the prefrontal cortex to assess themselves based upon, as a good person, as a capable person, as a confident person, based upon, and telling them, well, you did this on a test, therefore you're good. You did this on a test, therefore you're not so good. That's the forming of the self-identity at that time. You don't want any testing, but you want is parent discussions where the parent, the teacher can say where the child needs more help. Shouldn't be any evaluations there. Now, once he gets to puberty, a male, for example, and a female, her estrogen levels shoot up. She gets breasts and hips and period. Boys get big erections and they get way more testosterone. Their voice changes and so forth. Now you have a different story. Now you need to start giving people a chance to define themselves by what they can do. Okay, so this is, oh, I did this, that means I'm this. Oh, some people are better at some things, some people are better at other things. We need to have that developmental stage where you get to compare yourself with others, but you should compare yourself in a fair way. You shouldn't be graded on everything. So that's why I said, my big challenge when I was growing up, I wanted straight A's. I'm a high achiever. I'm ambitious. I want straight A's. And damn, I never got straight A's. I wasn't great at everything, so I wasn't great. Now I'm great at one thing, what I'm doing right now, and I get to be great. I'm not good at all these other things. I can't play the piano worth a darn. Can't sing worth a darn. Terrible handwriting. Can't spell. But look what I get to be is number one. Why can't every teenager get to be number one in the things that matter to him? So give them 6 grades, just like in college they do this. They should do this in high school, a junior high, and then into high school, where you need to be exposed to various things, and you pick 3 things that you pass, fail, and 3 things you get graded on, and that's it. That way, if you're really talented, one day you're going to be the best singer on the planet. Who cares about algebra for you? That's not necessary for you. So you take the elective singing and you get A's in singing. Do you feel like a star then? As opposed to trying to do trigonometry, geometry, some people can't say. So the point of view is that you do this pass fail, but you put forth your best effort, but you're not graded on it. And certain things you're really interested in, you pick 3 things you're interested in. Your parents could help you pick those 3 things. So you always don't have to achieve this, I have to be good at everything. Nobody is good at everything. So give our kids a break. Now, when it comes to children, early school is a big disaster that we have today. So much divorce. So boys and girls don't see their father. If you don't feel your father's love and attention, you need a man in 1st grade. You need a man in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, not just a gym teacher. You need equal male and female in those early stages. You need equal male and female in junior high school, and you need equal in high school. You need male, female at all times. That's the balance we're looking for today. It's a crime that only women are teaching these little kids. They have no picture of a man. You know, it's just like women have all the answers or something. Now, if they had a father at home, it would be different. And even when you do have a father at home, you still need a father at the school. Why? Because today the attitude of the father at home is father knows least. You know, in the 50s, father knows best. That was a famous TV show, Father Knows Best. Men used to get respect. Men had admiration. Men were appreciated, which, by the way, I'll finish off here with this thing I wasn't able to finish. Men need most trust. You can depend on us. You accept our imperfections, and you appreciate what we provide. So important. If you could summarize the biggest complaint men have once you dig down into it, is they don't feel appreciated by their wives. Now, how do I get to that? Look at the man who wants to leave his wife. I said, you know, why do you want to leave? I said, no matter what I do, it's not enough to make her happy. Now, what does that translate if you translate it into it? If she's not happy with what I do, that means she doesn't appreciate what I do. So key. Women have no idea. The war cry of women today is we don't feel appreciated, we don't feel appreciated, we don't feel appreciated. That's because you're on your male side, and you can appreciate a woman all to the end of the world. She still doesn't feel happy. No, she won't. She thinks that's what she needs. Remember I told you people think they need something? But if they're unhappy, it's not what they really need. What really women need is more consideration, more respect, more caring, more understanding, more consideration. That's what women need. And in terms of the workplace, more cooperation, more inclusion, more nurturing and support of the employees as opposed to just the outer world. You know, I support my team in being happy above everybody else. They're not going to sacrifice themselves for everybody else. That makes them all into men. Let's give them be a balance. So many concepts have to change in the world we're in now. As back to your question, Nikki, what happened? An evolutionary tsunami happened. Women on their male side, men on their female side. Boy, does this taste good. So now you got men on their female side, sitting and watching TV all Sunday. You know what that is? That's men on their female side, holding on to a guy running with a football just to sort of stay masculine. But he's sitting there completely passive, depending on that to make me happy. A little bit of that's fine. That's escape time, no big deal. Not feeling I have to do stressful things. But we're so vulnerable today as men to addictions. Our boys playing video games all the time, disastrous to their testosterone levels. We already know their estrogen levels are soaring. All these kids are like masters of game playing. They're all overweight and fat. That belly means estrogen. And men, walk around, look at them. That's what's happening in America. Why are there more COVID deaths in America than anywhere? Fat bellies. You're way out of balance if you're a man, you've got a fat belly. That's why I did just finish this fast. I get a little extra fat in there. I'm living a long life. I'm going to be healthy and vibrant and happy and fulfilled. So I do what it takes. I just gave a talk. Nikki, you were there at that talk. You heard me with Metal. And a wonderful group, by the way, amazing group. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. When I told him I was fasting, he said, "Oh, why you do something so difficult?" And the same guy who asked that question is the guy who says, "Why do I have low testosterone?" Because you want to do the easy. Part of being a man is you do what's difficult and people acknowledge you for it. And then you get to do easy. Then do what's difficult. Have strength. Find it. It doesn't come from outside. Passivity, dependence, depending on too much alcohol for your happiness and fulfillment. Depending on video games. And let me just throw this in here because this is big and nobody wants to talk about it, but we're a little group here I can talk about. The number one testosterone lowering is males doing internet porn. This is massively depleting their testosterone levels, depleting of zinc every time they ejaculate. They're doing it every day. This is like insane. It's like a bullet of cocaine in their brain every time they do it, and they're addicted to it. They're powerless. They can't even get an erection. This is 21-year-old boys who've been masturbating for 5 years to internet porn. They get in a real relationship. The first 2 times they might have an erection, and after that, they can't even get an erection with a real girl. Only online, because online produces dopamine, which bumps up testosterone, and you don't know the girl, so there's no estrogen being produced. As soon as you know somebody, you care about them, estrogen goes up, testosterone goes down. You have to have strong testosterone to be in a relationship with a woman and keep it up. So many people today are just saying, where's the passion? My male friends, my group, I'm in a 70-year-old group, basically. I'm the younger, I'm 69. They can't even get erections. Oh, man, I always talk about how much sex I have. It's like, don't tell us. Why? Because they're always ejaculating so many times. It's all burnt out. You can rebuild it. I teach classes on that, but that's not today's class. But it's just this, what's happening for these kids is disastrous. It's disastrous. So my book, Boy Crisis, twice as many girls are graduating from school. 8 times more boys commit suicide. 4 times more boys have ADHD type problems. So many challenges that boys are having. And then it all comes to performance for boys. Lower and lower performance, weaker and weaker. And what does that mean for women? What's their change? The more they're on their male side, stress levels are higher. Hormonal imbalance is higher. Inability to fall in love. Inability to stay married. Inability to even want a man in their life. Inability to want a family in their life. They can't even feel the nurturing qualities of their femininity. It's not there. They can't access it. They're looking for it sometimes in their 40s when their hormones have really dropped and they've been through their divorce. And why were they in their divorce? Because they couldn't be happy. And I'm not saying that he wasn't a part of it too. It takes 2 to build a fire, but it takes 1 to change it.